a large number of these patients, almost 70% of my patients, and it's been fairly consistent whether they're on HIV therapy or not, can't form antibodies when given common vaccines.
The problem is that Topeka Blue Cross and Blue Shield simply say in this local area in the Midwest, you can't get this necessary treatment, this IVIG treatment that you need to keep people alive.
They found something that cost too much money, and they targeted a group of patients and a doctor so they could spend less. You know, what if somebody comes up with a treatment that is useful for macular degeneration? Could be expensive, could be some laser kind of thing or whatnot, you know, requiring some expensive gear or some drug. And now you got all these Medicare beneficiaries, a whole bunch of them who are going to be getting macular degeneration, and they don't want to pay for it. They're just going to start pushing the line over to bring down their budgetary numbers in line. I mean, that's what's happening here. That's the threat to everybody. You know, if the system's broken, fix the system, not on the backs of people and their lives. And that part really starts scaring me a great deal is you've got this little office, a handful of people in Topeka who are allowed to kind of just start making what I see as a major change in the way Medicare decides how they're going to pay for things or not.
Topeka, isn't that where Fred Phelps is from?
You know that these people have a death sentence, and everyone's going to die, and whether they die sooner or later, what's that about? You understand, you've got Africa, who's got a much larger AIDS population than this country, and those people are dying left and right, and they are filthy beasts. Filthy beasts. But that's not a lot different than this nation. These people get AIDS and they go right on. They don't even slow down. Passing it is quick. They engage in risky behavior, and then we're supposed to do what? Run up the national debt because they won't just behave?
In every spiritual tradition that I'm acquainted with, healing is a key concern. Jesus was marked by his followers as a healer. And in the Bible, over and over again, we see Jesus performing his ministry through his attention to the sick. One of the most famous images of the Buddha is the medicine Buddha. In traditional American Indian life, the healer really is the spiritual leader because being restored to harmony with nature is a key to that life. In Hinduism, in Islam, in Confucianism, many people are acquainted now, some with Chinese traditional methods of healing. These grow out of a religious sensibility that our spiritual health and our physical health are intertwined. And as we are kin to one another, we must help those who have been afflicted with disease or who suffer from accidents.
Dr. Nemechek was audited the very first time, and while doing so, he wasn't able to give medication to anyone else. Other people who had needed the medication that he'd been giving the medication to. And because of that, one man died. One man simply, and I don't know who that person is, but one man had passed away during that time who was normally getting those treatments, and that's a scary situation.
When they attack you like this and they perform an audit and they tell you you can't do this anymore, they say we won't pay for it anymore. Well, in essence, what that does is prevent you from providing it to the patients anymore, because nobody can pay for it. So one of my patients dies clearly from this. Very stable guy, doing very well. His name is Steve, and within 3 months developed a rapid viral infection of his brain and died. And it was the only thing in his therapy, in his whole clinical picture, that changed. was stopping this immune globulin.
People buy into a program or vote for a program with the expectation that their tax money will benefit them and their family and friends and community, because we're all in this together. None of us can be absolutely certain that we won't fall deathly sick tomorrow. And so we want a system that's going to work for everybody, not just for a privileged few. And to have somebody arbitrarily cut off out of the system ought to scare everybody, because if it can happen to one person, it can happen arbitrarily to another.